in what is still in many cases a male-dominated world in business, particularly higher up. What have you experienced? What advice do you have for our women graduates that are coming through the MBA programs that we offer?
Yes, that's something I'm very passionate about. So thank you for asking. And tying back to the early story I mentioned of me as a little girl, right, growing up, wanting to be an executive, having big dreams, and my dad believing in me and telling me the world was going to be female one day. All of that was very, very empowering. What I have now realized then is the shadow side of it is that I was also very aware at a young age that the world was not female yet, that being a woman and a leader was really hard, and that there would be a lot of challenges that I would face.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been true. I would say that
what are some women, of the specifics that you've run into?
I think the biggest thing for me is that I have learned, and I think many women have learned, growing up in corporate America or at work, if you will, that we cannot really be successful if we are our true selves. That we need to change who we are and become someone else, to shapeshift who we are, how we show up, to silence our voice, to dim our lights, to fit into a one-dimensional mold of leadership that has been established at work for many decades based on white males. And the way of leading and what success looks like has been very one-dimensional. So what I learned is that I needed to, again, change who I was. I needed to be more authoritative, be more assertive, be more direct, bold, to speak in a certain tone, to let go of my accent, to wear more darker black or blue clothes, to wear my hair a certain style, to not wear certain colors, to not be as passionate, to control my emotions. As a Brazilian, it's very hard to control emotions, but learn to do that, right? I have learned to take space in a meeting room, broaden my arms and my shoulders, to sit forward like I'm gonna attack somebody, to use military terms in my vocabulary because they mean something in business, right? So in many, many ways, I heard loud and clear, or felt and saw around me, that for me to be successful, I couldn't be me. So I believe there are many women that have risen through the ranks, but at a very expensive cost of fitting in. And for me, as I worked so hard to fit in, because that's what I believed I needed to do to be successful, in many ways it worked, because I kept getting promoted and I kept, getting the things that I was hoping for. I completely lost myself. My spark was gone. And
it's got to be hard to shift in and out of that character.
So hard. And so many women, and I relate to this, I have heard us talk about needing to wear our armor to work. And
you literally get into character.
You're shape shift who you are. Mm-hmm. And then some women get home and they feel like they can finally take the armor off. For me, when I was going to the office and I got back home, I physically needed to change my clothes because I felt okay, I can be me now.
Interesting.
And over time, then what that does, we hear a lot about imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But that to me is a symptom of the deeper learning that we as women have been programmed into, that we are not the definition of success, that for us to be successful, we need to be somebody else, or we need to talk a certain way, we need to behave a certain way. So, and when all of that, I say computer programming is running so deep within us, the way it manifests might be, I don't want to speak up in this meeting because I may be judged. I don't want to raise my hand for this assignment because what is going to mean to me? And like, I'm not going to stretch myself because if I fail, I have no support line.
Right.
Or just the standards are harder. And so like, I need to work so much harder, and we give all of ourselves. And what I think is happening because of the great pause of the past year and a half, so many people are reevaluating what success really means to us. And who do I want to be moving forward? What do I want to carry with me? What do I want to let go? And reevaluating success, reevaluating what thriving really means to us. And you see more women of color leaving workforce because we're so exhausted.
Yes.
Because wearing that mask or that other personality or that armor over time just wears on you. Because there is not only the exhaustion of the work, but there is the mental and emotional layers that have been so deep for so many of us, right? So for me, right now, there's a lot of great momentum on diversity and inclusion, and it's incredible, right? And like companies have come out the past year with like beautiful manifestos about belonging and bringing your authentic self to work, and all of that is beautiful. But what I've told the people I talk to is like, you got to understand that for the past 2 decades of my life, I didn't think I could be me. In fact, people told me I couldn't be me. So like, there isn't a light switch that I can go and go like, wipe out the 20 years and just like show up as me. It doesn't work like that.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting, Tatiana. Being at the university and at the foundation, everybody's gone through this reassessment of inclusiveness. And try as we might, and I think your read on this is very accurate about, unfortunately, the need to sort of shapeshift a little bit. And I think a lot of men do it too, but I think women, the onus is on you kind of to try to fit in with the DNA. DNA doesn't change with just a manifesto. Or posters on the walls. We've all seen them. And so, I think a lot of our viewers will be very sympathetic or empathetic, actually, with what you've just described. What I thought was really intriguing about how you've approached it is it was deliberate. You recognized, here's what I need to do. And it wasn't maybe, I hope, not compromising, core values, but it was sort of a recognition. I've heard some women talk about curtain up. They would leave my office and say, well, I it's time to put the curtain back up and go on for the show, to go into a meeting with the trustees of the university or something like that. And they become this different persona for the next 2 hours, but it's exhausting.